This is my Tokyo Marui Glock 17 Gen 3. I've had this gun for a while now, and I wanted to do a full upgrade and update it. So these are the upgrade parts that I'll be installing. These are the CowCow Mag Bases for Glock 17. The CowCow Glock 17 magwell. That was actually for Gen 4. CowCow Technology short stroke trigger. And I'll be using the red safety trigger. Just the replica Surefire X300, a CowCow SSG spring guide, I've got this TTI fixed outer barrel with inner threads, this is a thread adapter that came with the tracer unit. And this is the T238 tracer unit. So this is a Tokyo Marui magazine, and I noticed that the CowCow Glock bases fit perfectly on this mag. Now this magazine, I've had to file the sides and the base to make the base actually fit. I'm unsure about this brand, but something to keep in mind if you're gonna buy this mag base. So this CowCow Magflare, I've had to modify the opening because this is for Gen 3. So there's a bit of fettling with opening the existing hole for the Allen bolt, but it can be done. I only did this because the skirmish shop didn't have a Gen 3 available. This is the CowCow adjustable trigger. This is all the hardware you need to install. We need to remove the existing trigger bar to install this trigger. Now to install this trigger, you have to place in the small spring into that dimple. I use a small amount of grease as an adhesive to place it there temporarily. Once that is complete, you can install the safety trigger, making sure that the spring is seated in that groove. Now, once you feel the safety trigger springing back, you can install the small grub screw on the lower part of the trigger. It's very hard to find this small Allen key, and you're able to actually use your finger and press down to screw it in, or you could use a file and screw it further down. Just make sure that the spring is seated correctly, and then you can install the trigger bar and install the second grub screw, again using either your finger or a file or the actual appropriate size Allen key. The last grub screw is the one that adjusts the trigger pull. Screwing this in clockwise will increase your trigger pull, and screwing it anti-clockwise will reduce your trigger pull. Now I can install the trigger assembly back into the lower frame. complete the lower frame, I can install the replica Surefire. I've actually had to use wire wraps to hold the battery housing in place as the tab broke. This is the CowCow spring guide. It came with multiple buffers to adjust the recoil of the slide, and on the table there are in order of hardness, and I went with the red and yellow buffers. This is the TTI Outer Barrel. It's a fixed outer barrel, and there are some major differences from the stock outer barrel. This outer barrel doesn't actually fit perfectly into the slide, but it still cycles properly. These are the grub screws that came with the outer barrel. This is to keep the inner barrel into place, and later in the video you'll see that I actually tighten this every half turn and altering each side just to keep the inner barrel in the middle. The last part I have to install is the tracer unit. This is the counterclockwise thread adapter to be placed in the outer barrel. Now this tracer unit doesn't fully seat at the end of the threads. There is a grub screw available, so you can align it as straight as possible and tighten the grub screw to keep it in place.